Chris, I think I have you unmuted. How are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing great. How about yourself, Dale?
Good, Chris. So, I let the viewers and attendees know you're bullish a dollar, right around the 90 level. So, this was your kind of year, Chris, because you were a bear in equities. You're kind of your wave stuff was talking about declining markets, deflationary type markets, and this must have been a pretty good year for you.
Yeah. Things kind of happening the way I was expected. I don't know.
Want to share your screen, bro?
Do what?
You want to share your screen?
Yeah, let me get that up there.
Show a few of your counts up here.
Yeah, let me see if I can find that again here. I've got a different laptop here, so I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay.
Let me see. Where's that?
You got to make these interviews count. They only come up every 3-4 months.
Man, I tell you, right?
But
where is that?
Time flies.
Let me see. I cannot find the button here.
Here on Zoom, it's at the bottom of
your
cursor is the bottom of the screen, green button. Share screen.
I don't.
Are you calling in?
No. I'm on my computer here. This is weird. I do not see it anywhere.
You don't see a share screen at the bottom when you?
I sure don't. I've got participants, Q&A, chat, show captions, raise hand, settings.
That's weird. Let me see really quick.
Did you unshare, Blake?
No, I'm gonna see if I can do something really quick before I have to cut out of here. I just want to make sure that he can share.
There's nothing wrong from our side. I mean, nothing has changed.
Yeah. He's a panelist.
What platform are you using? I mean, which device are you logged in from?
Yeah, from a MacBook.
No, it should work just fine from a MacBook.
Yeah.
I mean, you are a presenter. You are a panelist, so that's interesting. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
that is strange. Well,
okay.
Dale, maybe you can show your screen.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
All right.
Okay, so you
have a great interview. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you have. Thanks for trying, guys. You have numbers in mind. The end's hitting some of my targets. What are you looking for in the dollar now, Chris? Are we in a topping phase here, or are we do you have higher numbers still?
Yeah, so I think the yields there on the 30-year and the dollar are kind of really shouting that I think we're coming up to a top here.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean,
can I use a TLT as kind of as a proxy, and here's your 10-year. So, a little double top at 4. You think we push above it maybe on CPI tomorrow, but we're close to a reversal. And this is interesting. We're making new highs in yields, and what everyone loves is not making new highs. The dollar.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, if I look at the DXY there, I mean, my current count says, okay, we've got a little bit higher to go. I think we're looking at, let me see here. Well, there's that R5 pivot on the weekly. They're right around 115.85.
Okay.
And if we jump up beyond that, then I've got 117.72. And I think so. If we break out through the swing high there at it's right around 114.778. If we break out above it, those are the two targets I'm looking at.
What if we don't?
Convinced yet that we will, though.
Everyone's looking for one more jiggle to new highs. I've seen this movie before, and I could see why. I could see why they would. In fact, I should be, because these highs are confirmed. Well, markets rarely peak when you have. This is my theory. I'm breaking my rules. My rules would say, don't get short the dollar until it makes a new high without the RSI. Kind of like what the yen is trying to do right here on the daily. Here the yen is not confirming. But I just think there's so many people trying, there's already 92% bulls in the dollar on this rebound. And I just don't know if it has the juice. What if we get a surprise on the CPI? I mean, everyone's getting so conditioned to expect nothing but negative inflation news. Could there be an outlier?
Yeah, and that's exactly my thought. So at the beginning of this year, what I kind of spoke about there, I do my YouTube live streams there a couple of times a week. And I had said, okay, in January, I said, well, it looked like we were going to probably have a housing market top there at Q2. And then I said, we'd see, the interest rates continue up through the year with the big hikes, probably 75 basis points, maybe even 100 basis points through the summer. But then I was looking at us finishing off those, not having any more of those come around the end of Q3, beginning of Q4. And so that's kind of where we're at now. And, and so we look at this and we see everything's coming up. And I've been talking about the last month or so about the likelihood that we'd see a surprise to the downside with CPI potentially this time around. So, yeah, I mean, that all kind of lines up. That's why I said, if it breaks out, those are the targets I'm looking at.
Right.
But I do have a different count that kind of says that the top may be in. So I think either way, I think we're probably pretty close. On those 30-year yields, I've got us at the end of a wave 5, trying to finish out there. Yeah. And we're near the R5 pivot there on the weekly as well. So just kind of some confirmation on that, it looks like.
Okay.
But, nothing guaranteed, but.
Nothing, no. So, if you, what do you have underneath it? Say, for example, these are the highs. We take out 110. This is when people will recognize that the dollar's in a correction phase if we take out 110, right?
Yeah.
What are some of your downside S1, S2, S3 levels?
Oh, I'll tell you what, if this is the top, I mean, I think we're going down mid-90s at least.
Okay.
I see this as the end of the, a series of 5 waves coming off that whatever that was, 88 low. So, I mean, I think we've got a significant, pullback coming in, if this happens.
Or a new bear market in the dollar, possibly.
Exactly. We're just kind of at this weird area. So, when we talked about the S&P, and that's kind of been other than the dollar, the other big thing I've been talking with you about, the idea that maybe we're sitting into this big kind of depression kind of coming in and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're still heading down overall. And so you still have to kind of keep that in mind. But the longer I sit here and look at it, the more concerned I become that at the top there that we had, whether you're looking at the NASDAQ in June or you look at the S&P and the Dow there in January, it wasn't anything spectacular at the top. It was just like this rollover. And, using Elliott wave, we're looking supposedly at a grand super cycle kind of top. And so.
Yeah, where was all the impulsive action and why didn't the VIX ever blow up?
Exactly. You should be looking at some sort of blow off top. You're talking about the fifth wave of the fifth wave of the fifth wave kind of idea, this over exuberance, and we didn't see that. So I have to be honest. I'm kind of sitting here going, well, do we have one more push up? Now, if we get a drop here below the lows we're at, I've got a count right now that says, that move down you've got to your black line down there is a leading diagonal for a wave 1. The move up to the red line and the green line there is a wave 2. And then off that, I've got us working on a 1-2 smaller interior. Yeah, right. Coming through here. So if we get a breakdown below the swing low here, and in all thoughts when we're looking at it, I mean, that should be a big wave 3, which means it should be a huge push down, a hard push down, kind of gets everybody's attention really. If we don't
the recognition phase of, oh God.
I'm the wrong way. It's not going up, So if we don't see that though, then that really keeps me cautious about the idea that maybe we do actually still have another push higher, and that would seem to make sense. If the dollar's reversing, I mean, what kind of catalyst
exactly
pushing it down?
Yeah. So if it's a wrecking ball, maybe it could also be the glue that patches different financial markets together again. If it falls.
Right, exactly, yeah. So that's kind of where I've been here the last few months.
So then your tune might be changing in gold with that outlook. No, it isn't.
Nope, still not.
Okay,
nope.
And silver, $10.
Silver. Yeah, still looking at it heading down there. I mean, I guess I could see a scenario in which it doesn't. Kind of goes more along with what everybody else tends to think, but you know me, I don't. I don't look at it that way. I don't look at gold as an inflation against, hedge against inflation or anything like that. I just see it as a tradable asset. Don't really see a whole lot of reason, for people to be buying it really at the moment. And so, I mean, other than right now I expect a little bit of a push up, probably up there around, what do we got there? Probably around 1840 or so, at least, looking at like a flat correction. So that would be wave C heading up.
Doesn't it look a lot like the S&P?
It does. Yeah.
And don't a lot of these charts in different asset classes, it's pretty much all one market driven by the dollar, and only there's no differentiation.
Right.
Even grains, Chris, don't you think? I mean, why should Fed tightening have impact on the corn market? And they all look the same, or wheat or beans. Are people eating less because interest rates have doubled?
Right. And that's the whole thing, so we keep going back to the dollar, and I just, I mean, like I said, as far as gold and silver goes, I could be wrong. We could see it.
Yeah, we all could be.
Pulling back, but I mean, I think at the end of the day, I think the story is, the dollar. I think, again, as I told you back when we were down there around 88, and I said that looks like at the bottom there, and we'll be heading up toward this area. I said, this is a story right here. This is where it's at. As long as this thing's rallying up there, everybody's going to deny it at first, but once they kick in and everybody goes, oh wow, here it goes. Well, everything else is going to be affected pretty negatively, and so now we get to this point, and as you mentioned earlier, what'd you say? 92% bulls there on
the DSI, 92.
Yeah. And so that was a part of my exact reason when we were down at the lows there, where I said, well, it looks like this is probably the low. We had just about 92 or 94 as well, but they were all bears. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
And so
we've come a long way in a year. Couple years, really. Year. Gosh, it's almost been 2 years, man. Yeah.
That was January of 2001 or 2021.
Okay.
So yeah. The dollar's had a great rise here. Unfortunately, a lot of people didn't want to do it. So
can we dissect it? Do you look at the pairs within the dollar? Do you have any, different ones will display different patterns and relative strength? Do you differentiate between, say, the euro and cable with what's happening in the UK, or the commodity currencies like the Aussie or the Canadian or Kiwi?
Yeah, so I mean, Euro USD, 57, 58% of the DXY weighted value there, and so we always watch that, and it seems to be printing pretty similar to the DXY, just the opposite, right?
Yeah, right.
And so if you get it, if the euro rallies, then there's little hope that the dollar doesn't drop, right? The yen is the other part. It's another 12% or so.
Yeah.
And so if the yen wakes up and the euro wakes up, the DXY, I don't think there's anything it does other than drop. And both of those seem overextended as far as the USD strength on those sides. So, I don't think we have a lot as far as like the cable and, the loonie and stuff like that go to really kind of impact it. So yeah, I think Euro USD and the USD yen are probably coming to near their ends there, and that would align with the DXY as well.
Okay. Any view on WTI now that we know that the Saudis and OPEC are our friends?
Oh yeah, that's funny stuff, right?
Yeah.
So
we're tight.
I'll tell you what, I've still got a 1-2 coming off that top there. So I've got a 1-2 and then working on a wave 3 here basically. So I've got us at quite possibly the top back over there around 130, 128, whatever that is.
And we could have a bear market rally into the hundreds and then roll over again, Chris?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking at the moment. Yeah. Now, we look in there and everybody's been talking about $300 oil for, it seems like a year now.
Yeah. And you're from Texas, so you know oil.
Yeah. But I don't know. if everybody's, if everybody's correct, which, they rarely are, right? But if we go into this big, huge downturn with the markets and whatnot, well, why the heck would oil rally? I mean, companies are already letting people go. They're already stopping their hiring. They're slowing production. I mean, so what's the use case? Why is oil going to be there? Travel will be down. Where's oil going to go? How do you get $300 oil? When everybody's not using it as much anymore. So, I don't
China
know.
lockdown. Yeah. All right. Well, interesting. Is there any line in the sand that could get, because I know there are some wave counts that said that, we could hold here and even rally back to 4,300 again or so, and then roll over and crack.
Mm-hmm. Well,
like it's a flat or something, and then we're going to pop again.
Yeah, well, if it's a flat, we're going to expect it to rally up above that, that 4,300, whatever that high is right there.
And then
we'd expect that. But I think if we are breaking out above that, I think at that point, that's where you at least get cautious about further downside.
Right.
Again, like you said, could be potentially some sort of flat playing out, but you should definitely be a lot more cautious about downside if we do break that and, head up a bit higher there.
Yeah, we'll have a breakout back over that 4,200 level. That was pretty important on the way down, 42.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, it looks like we have some important market history to look forward to, and it actually reinforces my views when I'm on the same side as you, Chris. I watch your,
well, I appreciate that.
Not that I would cover if you weren't. I would, I'd say, well, let's see. Mr. Market proved me wrong, but interesting that we're talking about this. And, there have been some articles on the dollar, kind of like the curse of being on Barron's or Time Magazine.
The cover
I saw
thing.
the wrecking ball and I don't know what magazine, the dollar, and the dollar is like gold now, and there's a lot of this, kind of peak mania stuff you get at turning points.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's, that's, I guess if you're looking, at things that just another thing that says, hey, maybe it is done or nearly so there. Yeah.
Okay. And one thing you may want to look into, every bull market in silver came with a bear market in the dollar. Just something to think about. And this gold silver ratio, I don't know if it means anything to you, but this was a pretty big turn, and 50%, looks like a bear market rally that would favor silver. Anyway, I'm into silver this year, man.
You're into silver this year?
Yeah, there was backwardation before this last rally in silver that you usually don't see. So anyway, I think it's hated enough. I think people have tried to buy the precious metals long enough, and not, what you hear now is they don't work anymore.
Right.
Okay, well, it's the opposite of the dollar.
Well, I'm over here, I keep an open mind, and worst thing I can say is, if I'm wrong about where gold goes, well, I've been right long enough to make enough money on it so far. And I'm open for it to be wrong and to continue with the other way. That's perfectly fine as well. Again, to me, it's all just tradable assets. So,
right.
Yeah.
So would you advise people to go to a commercial bank and exchange in the US? Are you doing it and going with different fiat, sitting in cash and different fiat, or just shorting the Dixie?
Yeah, well, the only place you're going to be able to do that, there's the ICE exchange. You do the futures on the Dixie there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, however you want to do it, I don't think you can do it wrong, really. I just think that if you find a lot of people are just going to find themselves on the wrong side. It's the same story it was at the bottom, just the opposite. Everybody was bearish, now everybody's bullish. It can't stop. It'll never stop. 160.
Yeah, you're talking about traders, so I'm talking about, say, people that aren't traders and they have 6 figures in their accounts.
Oh, okay.
And it's all denominated in dollars.
Right.
Their investments might work, but they're unhedged in dollars. shouldn't they be considering diversifying out of dollars in this
time
frame?
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, if that dollar, if that Dixie there's topped out, yeah, there's no, well, little reason to, you know, kind of keep dollars there, at least as far as things that you're trying to hold for a bit, because you're just going to lose, you know, just going to lose that purchasing power on it, that value on it. So yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, since you can't show your screen, let me do this for Chris so that people know where to find you.
Appreciate it, Dale.
You changed the name?
Yeah, you know, when we go back and forth, we got a lot of stuff going on right now. We're going to be launching a whole bunch of stuff, and so this has been the main site for a while. So, you know, this is still probably the best place to join us. But we're actually going to have a full-on coaching service coming up here, performance coaching for traders and whatnot, and a few other things coming out. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we're making a little, you know, video history that the long-term bull for the last several years in the dollar is open to a turn, and it could be a major turn, and is a little less bearish with the action we've had in SPX, that there could be a rally from here, and the dollar holds the key for everything here.
That's about it. Yep.
Okay, so you could find Chris on Twitter at TX West Capital right here, and howtotradetowin.com. Check them out. Congratulations, Chris, on a great forecast being bullish a dollar, and I'm hoping, well, I'm positioned that you're right on the reversal as well. So
I appreciate it.
I'm hoping you're right.
Me too. Me too.
All right. Well, you know, great talking to you. I'll get back in touch with you, Chris, on Twitter, and appreciate you, you know, showing up. I know you're away on work, and it was great talking and catching up with you.
Always a good time, Dale. Thank you so much.
All right, everyone. Christopher Inks at Tex West Capital. Could join the team in about 18 minutes on the morning edge. Good hunting, everybody. See everyone tomorrow. Don't just count your pips or your dollars or your Swiss. Count your blessings. See you tomorrow. What's today? Wednesday. Okay. Yeah. See you tomorrow. Adios. See you, buddy.
All right. Bye, Dale.
Hey traders, this is Blake Morrow with ForexAnalytix. Thanks for stopping by our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like these videos, share them, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of the content that we provide here for free. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you in the next video.